Hi everybody, I've been doing two kinds of videos. For quite some time I've been doing videos for Evolved Parenting, so this will be on that channel. But I've also been doing recently videos for people who have insomnia. And often there are similar issues if you look at the root, which are typically spiritual issues at the root of both of the complaints that one may have, either not falling asleep or not feeling that the raising of their children is going the way they would have liked. The universe essentially is a complaint that eventually stops complaining about itself. Again, the universe is a complaint that eventually stops complaining about itself. And that's when it comes into acceptance. Of course, in Miracles we call it forgiveness. You could just call it love. But we know that this clearly must be what life is about, because when we are no longer arguing with what is, we're happy, right? So in the case of with children, if we're not arguing with their development or their behavior, we are happy. And in the case of sleep, if we are unable to sleep because we're figuring out what we should have done or what we want to do the next day, then we're not sleeping. Now you might say, well, I might be unable to fall asleep because I am happy, but I'm thinking about why I'm so happy, right? So when we dwell on why we are happy, when we come up with reasons to explain why we're happy, if you pay attention, typically there's a fear that we're going to lose those conditions, or that we need to hold on to those conditions in order to be happy. Similarly, if we are looking at our children and saying, hey, I'm happy because my son or my daughter is getting good grades or is doing what I want them to do, again, we're dwelling on that typically because we are concerned they were not going to do it again. So we're saying, oh, I'm happy with them because of these certain conditions. Again, putting conditions on our happiness. And this is basically how society is run, which is why I do so many of these videos, to counteract the message of society, which is that you have to meet certain conditions in order to be happy. Those conditions could be material, like you need to earn a certain amount of money, or you need to have a certain possession, or it could be a certain kind of status, or being held a certain way, or being a special kind of relationship, or having people treat you a certain way. Whatever it is, these are conditions, preconditions that we're putting on us being happy. And so then we're putting those same preconditions on being pleased with our parenting, or pleased with our children's behavior, or who our children are, or we're pleased enough that we can fall asleep. And so in a sense, and I've got other videos on this, it's all about surrender and acceptance. It's surrender to the inevitable, which in the case of sleep is surrender to the fact that you're going to fall asleep. You can be fighting with yourself. Half of you wants to fall asleep and half of you doesn't. Okay. You could also be fighting with your children in that you want them to be different than they are. You want them to be better behaved than they are. You want them to be smarter than they are. You want them to be more polite than they are. All that. So in the case of parenting, it's a little more complicated than perhaps insomnia. In the case of parenting, it's about modeling. It's not telling your child they're supposed to say please and thank you. My opinion is you model saying please and thank you to other people, and if you've developed a warm enough relationship, one of respect with your children, they will eventually come to emulate that behavior. If you've antagonized your children, if you've taken power away from your children, if you've disrespected your children, yeah, they're not going to emulate you. That's why you've got teenage rebellion, because they're breaking away, they're breaking into their own, and therefore they're going to do the opposite of whatever you do. A lot of what I'm talking about is to sort of have the teenage rebellion impulse be more loving and less rejecting of what you have done. Sure, they may not do what you have done, but if you have respected them, they will respect your modes of behavior. Anyway, I can go on forever, but I think I'll stop there. So I've accomplished successfully doing a video that is both covering insomnia and raising children. So if you haven't already subscribed, please go to evolvedparenting.com. If you're interested in insomnia guided meditations, just email me. Those take more time, so I'll do them if people express an interest. Thanks for listening. Bye.